East Main Street in Cherryville. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30. Just call 704-435-3801 for Rick's Automotive in Cherryville.
Motorists are reminded that safe, sensible driving is no accident. When you drive, be sure to make driving carefully your first priority. Texting, it can wait. A tip to prevent an accident brought to you by Gaston Tax Service, serving individuals and businesses with locations in Mount Holly and Gastonia to serve you. Open 7 days a week, year-round, to provide tax solutions you can trust. This from Gaston Tax Service on Facebook and at GastonTaxService.com.
A mild day out there today, but a strong cold front will rise overnight tonight, so it will be much cooler heading into Wednesday. Partly cloudy tonight. It will be on the breezy side. Lows ranging from the mid-30s to near 40 degrees. Sunny skies Wednesday, breezy and cooler with highs in the mid-40s to near 50. And Thursday, it's sunny and very chilly with highs in the upper 30s to low 40s. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Currently at the Big Old Country Studios, it's 4:02.
Hi, Daddy. Hi, Marge. Hey, what's that?
Oh, that's our new Coyote tractor. John picked it up today. Isn't it beautiful?
Well, yes, but
it's going to help us get all those jobs done around here.
Well, that's great, but
and with Coyote, we get the industry's best warranty.
Okay, looks great, works hard, the best warranty, but why?
Why is a Coyote tractor in our living room, and why is John snuggled up next to it? He's in love.
Coyote, love your tractor.
Your Coyote dealer is West End Sales, Highway 1827 intersection in Vail.
For over 25 years, Moss Realty has been serving clients in Gaston and surrounding counties. Their realtors know the area, not just from maps and pictures, but from living and working in the community. From Belmont to Kings Mountain, Lincolnton to Clover, and more, the hometown specialists at Moss Realty want you to be their neighbors.
Hi, I'm Warren Moss. Whether you're buying or selling your home in Gaston County, call one of the professionals at Moss Realty or visit us online at mossrealty.com. Moss Realty, your hometown specialist.
All right, welcome out to the best in sports right here on a Wednesday afternoon. Tim Johnson and Kenny Link right here on 92.3 on the FM dial, and of course 1590 on the AM dial. Kenny, what a sports day do we have here for our local listeners out there here on the best in sports. Tim Johnson and Kenny Link. Addison is at school, Ken. I thought, I forgot about school starting back.
Well, some people got to go to school and got to go to work, Tim. That's just the way it is.
I don't know what the deal is. I'm telling you, man. I'm kind of lost in the environment here. We was in the big showcase room of the sports room, and Kevin said, "Hey, we're just going to move you in here." So we back where I guess it's our home.
Yeah, that's where we cut.
I'm home here. You know what I'm saying?
Cut our teeth in here, but anyway.
So I'm kind of looking at you on the screen and I'm looking around the room here. I don't know. I just like this environment. I just feel more comfortable.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
If you look, if you're able to see us, Tim and I, we didn't plan it this way, but both he and I have got on the orange today. I purposely wore it because I wanted to represent the new national champion Clemson Tigers. I tell you what, Tim, neither one of us are necessarily big Clemson fans, but we are fans of the good teams in our area and one of the best programs in the country, and you might argue the best program in the country, being they won 2 out of the last 3 national championships, are the Clemson Tigers. It's not
an argument. I mean, it's always been for years, SEC, Ken, ACC, Clemson Tigers. They have put ACC football
back on the map.
On the map. I mean, you think about it. Even back in 1981,
when you had the national championship and the Florida States, Clemson brought it up to the elite level.
Absolutely.
They really have. So.
And then Florida State came in, like you said, in Miami, the Hurricanes. But Clemson, to me, Ken, they've really put themselves on the map as the college football program. I mean, for years it's been Alabama, Nick Saban. Dabo Swinney, congratulations to Clemson Tigers, national champions 2018. Ken, they are the best football, no doubt about it.
What about them Tigers? Tim, they not only won that national championship game Monday night, they dominated the Alabama, the Alabama team. Nobody thought that could happen. They outplayed them in all phases of the game and actually shut them out the entire second half. It was the worst defeat in Nick Saban's career as head coach at Alabama. His previous worst defeat was by 14 points, and he got beat by 28.
Ken, I'm telling you, I watched that game, every bit of it, and I was amazed that Clemson just absolutely dominated that football game. Both sides of the football, special teams, the coaches just outcoached.
Offensive,
it's
defense.
like they wasn't even prepared to play.
Well, they made a good Alabama team not look good.
They did.
That's
44-16, unbelievable.
Unbelievable, and congratulations to Dabo Swinney. And as I mentioned, their second championship in the past 3 years. And my question was, does this mean that Clemson has now surpassed Alabama right now as the best college football program in the country? I think it has.
Oh, no doubt about it. No, and you know, Ken, we were talking the other day on the phone, you know, what this is going to do for Clemson. You know, they won the first national championship 2 years ago, but 3 years ago, actually. And what this is going to do for Clemson, Ken, is that they showcased themselves, you know, in the country. If you want to win national championships, Dabo Swinney's the man you want to play for.
Yeah, come to Clemson. And one of the key receivers in that game that the most valuable player, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, who was just unbelievable, was throwing to, a young man's last name was Ross. Guess where he came out of high school? Alabama.
How about that?
Came to Clemson. Didn't go to Alabama. And he's a freshman star, as is obviously Trevor Lawrence, who completely outplayed 2-0 on the Alabama side and was easily the most valuable player. And Tim, for a freshman, he looked like he knew what he was doing. He was cool. He poised. The show wasn't too big for him. He was ready.
He's a big boy, Ken, 6'6", and I tell you, like you said, stood in the pocket. He took some hits, but Ken, I tell you, he can throw. He's got a strong arm. He can make all the throws on the football.
Yeah.
He can make, you know, the out patterns and stuff like that, the sideline pattern. He can throw across the field. And, I mean, he's just an excellent quarterback. And Ken, just think about it. He's a freshman. Imagine what he's going to be like when he's a junior, Ken, and a senior.
Yeah.
If he stays, I don't see him staying 4 years.
Oh, no. The NFL's licking their chops, and they'd grab him now if it was possible, but it's not possible. They got to wait a couple more years. But he'll be barring injury, he'll be the number one guy probably coming out.
Let me ask you, you remember the movie Remember the Titans?
Yes.
You remember the kid that came in the middle of the season? They called him Sunshine.
Yeah.
Does he not remind you?
A little bit, got that long hair.
Yes, he does. He's not reminding you of
like
Sunshine. I watched him play, and I said, "Man, how's Sunshine there?"
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Excellent football player. Yeah, I'm telling you, congratulations to Clemson Tigers. Ken, how many times was Alabama stopped? They were stopped one time on the inside. Was it inside? I see inside the 5-yard line.
They were
4 downs?
really close, but they actually turned it over on downs 3 times inside the Clemson 25.
Wow.
So, I mean, they drove the ball some, but when it come down making the key plays, Clemson defense stepped up and stopped them.
Ken, we got to talk about Tanner Moose. You know, went to South Point High School, played baseball. We saw him play baseball.
Yeah.
He played ball with Alex some. Excellent football player.
He's all ACC player this year, and he's starting safety, and he got burned on that first touchdown Alabama threw, but he's a good player. He's an excellent player, got great speed, and almost caught up to that play after he got burned on. That showed what kind of speed he's got, and we know he's always had good size.
Oh, yeah.
And congratulations to him, who another local guy who's really done well, and I think has a future in the NFL.
He'll play on Sundays. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. He's about 6'4", 220 pounds, big
like
boy, can run like a deer.
They can run. I mean, you talk about a prototypical safety, somebody with speed and size, he's it.
Yes, absolutely. So congratulations to Tanner Moose and the Clemson Tigers. And Ken, I'm sure they'll be licking their chops next year too to go back and win another national championship.
Well, yeah, and all the skill players, the
coming back.
Skill players are back, and you know they've got so much depth. Hey, their big defensive tackle Lawrence didn't miss the game, both the last 2 games. Hey, it didn't even phase them. They've got depth, they've got recruiting. They're the number one program, and I think they're going to stay that way.
Let me ask you something here before we go to our next topic. Nick Saban, did this loss, as bad as he got beat, 44-16, does this hurt Nick Saban's legacy, Ken?
I don't think so, because if you look at what he's done, Tim, and it very well may be the change in the guard as far as Dabo being on top for a while. Now that doesn't mean Clemson got a lot of players. I mean, Clemson got a lot of players back, but so does Alabama. Alabama will be contender for a national champion again next year, but they won't be the favorite. Clemson will be.
Well, let me ask you a question. Would Dabo – how long do you think Dabo's going to stay at Clemson? And here's another thing.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
They'll build a statue. I guarantee you they're going to build a statue.
With Tim, I know where he played, but when you've established this at Clemson –
well, how about the NFL?
Nah.
Can you say – I can see – listen –
why would you do that? Why would you go to NFL?
Money. He can make more money. Think about it, Ken.
Yeah, but how much money is enough, Tim?
Well, I mean,
Clemson's going to take care of it.
Nick Saban's won everything in college football.
Yeah.
Okay, Dabo Swinney's won everything in college football. Think about it. He's won 2 national championships. He's been to 3 national championships. So Ken, he's won everything. So can you see him possibly going maybe another 3 years? Say Trevor Lawrence. He stays with him because he'll probably win another national championship with that young man. Maybe his junior year, maybe his sophomore year. Can you see him sticking around? Ken, I don't think so, Ken.
But do you really think he would see going up to the NFL, stepping up? Now, I mean, we're talking about the coaches, not players. We're talking about coaches.
I don't see him leaving Clemson to go to another college like Alabama. I don't think he would because, like you said, I agree with you. He established himself as probably the greatest coach ever come out of Clemson. But can you see him going to the next level? I can. I say after Trevor Lawrence. See, Kevin, I can see that.
But this is what I say, Tim. His style, his enthusiasm, the way he loves the college game, I think he just loves college. I don't think as far as him being good enough to go to pros if he wanted to, absolutely. I just don't think the want to would be there.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I mean, Clemson's going to take care of him. They're going to take care of him as far as the money, just like Saban's been taken care of.
How many coaches is he going to lose to head coaching in colleges?
He may lose
Brent
some.
Venables, the defensive coordinator, is really good.
Well, he'll lose really some because when you establish a name for yourself, you get the opportunity. And, of course, if you're a coordinator and you get the opportunity to head coach, of course you're going to go. So I
wonder how the Clemson fans feel about him now. 10, 11 years ago when they hired him in the middle, like the third or fourth game of the season. Tommy Bowden was the head coach, and they fired him, and they promoted. They
love him now. I mean, it's about what you've done for me lately.
He got death threats and everything
and he's done a lot for them lately. Yeah, so they love him.
And if you watch his interviews and stuff like it, Ken, he is just a genuine person.
Yeah.
He's
very likable, person. His players love him. The fans love him. Hey, why would you want to go anywhere else? I just don't see it happening.
Well, I tell you, somebody's sending their kids there, and I think he's got one already there, going to be there this year. That's Kurt Herbstreit on ESPN. Oh, yeah. Listen, this guy is the king of college football. Well, if you think about it.
Well,
and he said his son. He probably got him in any college he wanted to.
Yeah, he could.
He said, this is what I heard him say in an interview. He said, we went to all the colleges. He said, I went to Clemson. That was it.
Yeah.
He said Dabo Swinney and the staff. Now, he's not only talking about the coaches, Ken.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking about the people. He's talking about the organization.
Yeah.
He said, that convinced me.
Yep.
Well, and so, I mean, it's Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Clemson Tigers. As I said, they've established themselves, and because of that, they're going to continue to be good every year because they're going to be able to pick and choose from the kids all over the best kids all over the country because that's what happens whenever you're the best. Kids want to go and play for the best.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I agree with you too, Kenny. All righty, folks, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back here on the Best in Sports right here at KTC Broadcasting WCSL.
All right.
Hometown proud.
The only station I listen to.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL Cherryville.
It's the 30th anniversary of NBA basketball in Charlotte, and the Hornets are writing the latest chapter in Charlotte basketball history with their first-year head coach, James Borrego. Fast-paced and high-flying. Join the new voice of Charlotte Hornets basketball, Chris Kroger, and 10-year NBA veteran Matt Carroll as they deliver every thrilling moment of Hornets hoops all season long on the Charlotte Hornets Radio Network.
Here's Charlotte Hornet basketball right here on the Boss in Carolina Country. WHS, WCSL, and WLON. Online at KDCBroadcasting.com. For over 100 years, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home in Fallston has been providing services to families of our community with care and compassion. And now the Stamey Funeral Home has added the Cremation Center along with a new name, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center. The Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center on Highway 182 in Fallston, and the Stamey Funeral Home in Cherryville, located on Dixie Street in Cherryville, serving you with care and compassion in your time of need. Rock your way with Ace and enjoy the ultimate racing experience. See Ferguson's Ace Hardware in Cherryville for all the details. And enjoy concerts for a year and the top NASCAR races across the country. Go to raceatace.com or musicatace.com. And now at Ferguson's Ace Hardware, the Grommet, the newest member of the Ace family with up-and-coming products including tools, gadgets, problem solvers, and design innovations. All at Ferguson's Ace Hardware, Highway 150 East in Cherryville.
Dr. John L. Cloninger III of Lincolnton will brighten your smiles with professional cosmetic dentistry and smile enhancement procedures for everyone. Even Duke fans will smile at the work of this Tar Heel. The office of Dr. John L. Cloninger III is located at 904 Doncha Drive. For an appointment, call 704-735-0765. That's 704-735-0765. And John III says best wishes to all high school athletes.
Maybe a punctuation mark on a career night.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Saturday morning sports talk, 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here on Big O Country, WCSL 1590 a.m., Cherryville, Gastonia.
You're listening to Best in Sports Show here on Wednesday afternoon on WCSL, Cherryville, North Carolina. Here at KTC Broadcasting, Tim and I have been just discussing the great national championship victory by Clemson Tigers. And we'll talk a little bit about some pro football and what's going on there in the playoffs. But let's turn our attention to the round ball sport, Tim. College basketball. We had a big game in the ACC last night as the Tar Heels went over to Raleigh to take on the NC State Wolfpack. Both teams are ranked. NC State was ranked 15th coming in with a 13-1 record, and Tar Heels, who play a little bit tougher schedule, ranked 12th with a 11-3 record. And Tar Heels came out of the gun firing, was 12-0 before State knew what was going on. Keats took a timeout. State came back. It was a very entertaining game. It was a up and down, hectic pace. A lot of times you had a lot of mistakes going on, a lot of running up and down the floor, sometimes productive, sometimes not. But Carolina won 90-82 despite committing 23 turnovers in the game.
So that's all you're going to say about that game last night. So you're not going to rub it in or anything like that. You're not going to just pour it on me or anything like that.
No, I'll just give you a couple facts.
You know,
Roy Williams' record against NC State since he had been head coach is 34-4.
Wow.
Roy Williams against NC State at Raleigh on the road against them Wolfpack in Raleigh, 14-2.
You got all those McDonald All-Americans.
Roy's got their number, Tim, regardless of who's coaching your team. Because Roy's still there.
Yeah, he is. He's still there. He ain't going nowhere either. Don't sound like it.
I don't think so. He just signed a contract extension. He's not going anywhere. He's coaching.
So last night I didn't watch the game. I recorded. I know I told you I was going to record the game, so I'm going to go home and watch a little bit tonight. But you said the first couple minutes is first minute or so it was.
I think it was 9-0 when Keats called timeout before the first TV timeout. And they got settled down a little bit. Carolina was up by as much as 14 there early in the first half. State came back and actually cut it to a 5-point deficit at halftime. It was 47-42. Came out the second half, and Carolina would get up maybe 9 or 10. And State would cut it back down, and State actually tied it a couple times, but they couldn't quite get over the hump. And Carolina eventually got out to a little bit of lead with 6 minutes left, about 8 or 9 points, and held on. I think they got it down to 4, State did, but it just couldn't quite turn it. They hit the key shots, and Carolina ends up 90-82. Carolina did shoot well from 3-point range and also shot well from the free throw line, and that helped them overcome the 23 turnovers they committed.
Yeah, you can't win. But, Carolina fortunately won last night, but Ken, you said all year that Carolina commits a lot of turnovers. Yeah, they can't do that.
And in the style they play, they're going to commit some, but some of those last night, probably half of them was careless. Them just not focusing, making the good pass, paying attention. Some of them was just careless. And they need to cut that out if they're going to continue to get improving and be a factor at the end of the season for the Final Four. Another big game last night in ACC. Duke Blue Devils went over to Winston-Salem. You mean they actually played a road game? Yes. Went over to Winston-Salem to play the Wake Forest Demon Deacons and won that game, pulled away, won it by about 20-some. But actually it was pretty close the first half. I think Wake had a lead in good part of the first half, and Duke went on a run right before halftime. I think they was up 8 at half, and then in the second half, Zion Williamson went nuts. He put up 30. He was scoring, passing, rebounding, blocking shots, doing his thing. So
he's a good basketball player. There's no doubt about that. And he's a big boy too, Ken. He's not only tall, but he's wide. And he could play, and he could jump out of the gym. I saw some highlights of him and stuff like that before the game started. And I watched a little bit of the first half. And, Ken, I tell you, Wake Forest hung in there in the first half.
They did.
I mean, they played really well.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about Duke. Duke is playing pretty good defense, and they're getting a lot of fast break opportunities. Duke is really good when they're doing that. They're not quite as good when they have to get in the half court. Well, what's going to happen when they go against them Virginia Cavaliers, who is not going to turn it over and is going to play the half-court game? It's going to be interesting to see. And they'll be matching up here in about a week. The first time they play, it will be at Duke. But we'll see. I mean, Duke's still ranked number 1, but, Tim, number 4 is Virginia, who has not lost. They're 13-0, and they played Florida State the other night. Florida State was ranked in the top 10 when they played them. They destroyed Florida State, beat them by about 25, which is like beating them by about 40, which you look at how many points Virginia scores.
Tony Bennett, I tell you right now, is one heck of a coach. He's gonna win a national championship for us, so will.
And
he'll win more than one. He'll win a couple.
If you watch how those guys play defense, it's amazing how well they're playing the concepts he teaches. It's amazing how they clamp down and they make other teams' offense just look like they're inefficient and can't get anything to happen because their defense is so good with their timing and execution as far as the double teams and that kind of thing.
So, in other words, you're saying that they're going to give Duke all they can handle.
They will.
Defensively.
Because it's a whole different kind of game.
They make you play half court.
They're going to make you play half court. And they don't, unless Duke can force a bunch of turnovers against Virginia, and Virginia don't turn it over. So I don't think they will.
Right. That's interesting. Now, I mean, Virginia's always, every year they're really good, and they get to the final. They get to the
then last year it was really
national
a disappointment
championship,
because they had a great year, but then they faded in the NCAA just like that.
Well, they got beat in the first round.
Yeah. So
that's what, number 1 seed?
Yeah. Yes.
That's never happened before.
Which was a tremendous upset. But Virginia, let's go over the rankings, national rankings. You got Duke. Still hanging on to first place, 13-1. Michigan, an undefeated team at 15-0 at number 2. Tennessee at number 3, 12-1. As we said, the Virginia Cavaliers, number 4 at 13-0. Number 5, Gonzaga has moved up. They're 14-2. Number 6, Michigan State, 13-2. Number 7, Kansas, 12-2. Number 8, Virginia Tech, 13-1. And number 9, Tim, another Virginia team, Virginia Tech, 13-1, and they've a
ACC team. They played well last year.
They've got some good players. Got an excellent backcourt. Nevada comes in at number 10, 14-1, and then the other teams in the ACC, we'd already mentioned Carolina was ranked 12th. They're now 12-3. Florida State's 13th. They're 12-2, and the Wolfpack is now 13-2, ranked number 15 in the country. So. The ACC is well represented, and you're now getting into ACC play.
Yeah, it's the conference play now. So, you take somebody like Carolina State. Both teams are really good basketball teams. I could see State going to Carolina. Last year, State beat Carolina at Carolina.
They did.
They swapped. And State beat Duke last year.
Yeah.
So
now State, when they get hot, they can play with anybody.
They can play with anybody. They can. And I like Keats. I mean, I'm telling you right now, Keats is going to have them in a top 10, I'd say maybe next year. He's going to get his recruits in. He's starting to get, the puzzles and, the pieces of the puzzle and stuff like that. Just give him time. And let me tell you something. State has not had a coach like Keats.
No, Keats is an excellent coach.
He's the best coach they've had since.
And I like the style he plays. He plays a pressing, pressing defense. It tries to make you play faster than you want to. And they forced some turnovers last night. Now, Carolina was sloppy and gave it to him, but they forced some too.
A lot of Louisville. I can see a lot. His coaching techniques is like Rick Pitino when he was there, when he's assisted, a lot of the way that Pitino coached. I like it.
Coach K got a little perturbed last night after the game. Some reporter asked him about how do you feel about finally playing a real road game after the season this far in. And he got a little perturbed. He didn't like it.
It wasn't Calvin Hastings, was it?
No, it wasn't. Could have been, though. But he basically said, well, not that. That don't even matter. Well, so we play a top 10 schedule. Act like it bothered him a little bit. Yeah, it bothered him a little bit. I love it. I love it when Coach K gets a little perturbed. Tickled me good,
He's your buddy, ain't he, Ken?
Oh, he's my buddy.
Calvin loves him, man. I'm telling you.
I tell you right now.
Yeah, I tell you, you boys. I tell you, y'all give old Coach K a hard time.
Well, he deserves it. If he didn't deserve it, we wouldn't give it to him.
He's a great coach. He's one of the great college coaches of all time. No doubt about that.
And not very likable.
Yeah, well, some people like him. Well, obviously, Zion Williams' family liked him.
All them guys like him. They're going pro, Tim. Ask them how many them guys who went pro last year did they have to take a national championship with them? Nah,
none.
Zero. I wonder whether these guys. This year will have a national
be there this year. I don't know if they'll win.
They'll be there, but will they win it?
I don't know. I don't know if they'll win it, but they'll be there. I guarantee you that. They got a really good basketball team. They're young, and he'll put those kids together toward the end. They'll play a lot better. I mean, they're number one team in the country now, and he's got 3 freshmen starting, 3 or 4, something like that. And so, I mean, you got to. But he's one and done players. Or one and done players. Well, I mean, you got Williamson, you got that R.J. Barrett. He'll be gone.
They're all one and done. There's 3 or 4 of them. But we'll see how they do when they actually start playing some real road games and get some really good
competition.
Yeah. Wake Forest is not really one of the better teams in the ACC.
Ken, let's talk about a restaurant we always eat at. How about Max Grill, Ken? You know a lot about Max.
Well, I've been missing Max Grill. Now, we ate last week, but during the holidays we missed a couple of Wednesday shows because of things that was going on, and I miss going down there and eating. Down there at
best
Max.
Food you can eat anywhere, Ken. Anywhere. I'm talking about.
I'll tell you the worst thing about going to Max Grill. It's so difficult to make up your mind on
what
the
you
menu.
want. Yeah.
That's the hardest thing about going down there.
You're right.
But once you make up your mind, it's all smiles after that.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, the best lot of burgers you can ever eat. Folks, I'm telling you, you'll get a plate of food that you can take home with you. And like Ken does.
I do.
Ken reminds me of my grandmother. He wraps food up and puts it in his pocket, and he takes it home to Teresa. And and they have dinner at home too. So Ken has dinner at Max, and he goes home and have dinner.
That's
Is that
right.
what you do?
If you get an order from Max, you got 2 meals really. For normal people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now for normal people, some people eat a lot. You might be 1 meal, but
Max Grill, folks, Cherryville, North Carolina, home of the great Lottaburger. No doubt about that. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with some NFL football. And we're mainly going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. How about that, Kenny?
Oh,
that ought to get your blood pumping.
I got me boiling already.
All righty, you listen to WCSL, KTC Broadcasting. Tim Johnson, Kenny Link right here.
Live and uniquely local.
It's a community station.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL Cherryville.
Cleveland County's premier Buick GMC dealer is Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Come in now and take a test drive in your new Buick or GMC. Right now, drive away in a new 2019 Buick Encore at 20% off MSRP. You save over $5,300. And it's Denali season. Get up to over $12,000 in savings on the 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 4-wheel drive crew cab with the Denali Ultimate Package. Come in for all the details at Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincolnton, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
The Carter Chevrolet Swap Shop on Big O Country, 1590 AM WCSL Cherryville, Gastonia. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
All right, welcome back to 1590 AM. I'm sorry to say 107.5, Ken. We do LinkedIn Sports all the time. And 92.3 here on your FM dial. Tim Johnson, Ken Link, KTC Broadcasting, WCSL. Home of the Cherryville Ironmen, Ken. And
them Ironmen's been doing pretty good in basketball.
They have been. They absolutely have been.
And speaking of WLON, Tim and I will be having a high school basketball game this Friday on WLON. As we'll be going down to East Lincoln again to see the Maiden Blue Devils take on the East Lincoln Mustangs. Tim, these teams are atop the South Fork 2A Conference in basketball, both of them with 4-0 conference records. Maiden with 13-1 overall record, and East Lincoln with a 12-1 overall record. Now, we've seen Maiden play in the past, not this year, but I know you and I have talked about it, and you've commented about that Maiden coach. You like the way he teaches defense and the way his team plays. And I looked at their schedule and some of the scores, Tim. They don't score as many points as East Lincoln, but they hold the other teams down. They got a good defensive squad, and they'll be going up against the high-flying, high-scoring East Lincoln Mustangs, who we saw last week.
I guess you say East Lincoln's more like a Duke team, and then Maid's more like a Virginia team.
Yeah, that's a good good comparison.
Good comparison there. So, we'll be there Friday night down at East Lincoln. Looking forward to see Coach Chris Mathill. And I know I talked to Chris, and Ken, you did too, about baseball. He's looking forward to baseball season coming up. And, East Lincoln's going to be pretty good. I mean, they'll be decent this year. But I tell you, the next couple of years, Ken, I'd say the next 4 or 5 years, East Lincoln and North Lincoln, well, you know as well as I do, they've got a ton of talent in baseball.
That's where the baseball talent is in Lincoln County.
There's no doubt about it.
That's where it's at.
Yes, and I'm telling you, Ken, we saw last year how far North Lincoln went in baseball. Well, I'm telling you, East Lincoln in a couple of years is going to be right there with them. So it ought to be interesting to see those two teams play and just how far they can go. And I'm telling you, I've said it from day one, North Lincoln's going to win the state championship for us. So within the next 2 or 3 years, I think they will with these group of kids.
We're proud here at KTC Broadcasting to bring you high school sports, and Tim and I are especially proud to bring you Lincoln County high school sports across football, basketball, and baseball.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see how the Ironmen do this year too in baseball.
Yeah,
they always
got a good squad.
Absolutely,
got a lot of players back, and so they'll be a good team again this year.
And our good friend Bobby Dale, post 100, Ken.
Yeah, he'll have a good Legion team as he always does. He got a lot of players back from last year if they all choose to come back, and I think he'll have a good squad this year.
We do Lincoln County too, and Coach Bruce Bullock, one of the best people you ever meet in your life, Ken, and you know him well, and I know him too, and look forward to covering a lot of their baseball games too.
And I was telling some of the East Lincoln,
I was going to touch on that.
East Lincoln fans down there at the basketball game. I was telling some of I said, listen, you guys need to get some of these talented kids from East Lincoln and North Lincoln to play on that Lincoln Cardinal Legion team.
I tell you what, Ken.
Because if they had played, the Cardinals would be good.
Yes, they would.
They got talent there.
Yes, they do. And that's what it takes. I mean, Bobby Dale gets a lot of talent, and he can coach that talent. Bruce Bullock can coach the talent too, Ken. You know as well as I can.
I know he can. You got to have the talent to come out and to play.
You're right. I agree with you. How about those Cowboys, Ken? How about them?
Well, how about them?
Come on. Step it up.
My pick was wrong. I picked the Seahawks.
Let's go over your picks. Tell me your picks, Ken.
I was 1-3, Tim. I got one right.
Okay. But you didn't get the one right that you should have got right. So, folks, the Dallas Cowboys, well, we're all huge Cowboy. Everybody in the world's Cowboy fans.
Except the ones who get tired of Cowboy fans talking, and they're not Cowboy fans.
I've been talking junk all week. But Dallas put a butt whooping on Seattle. It was a good game. It was a close game. Seattle, Dallas defense played good. Their offense played good. Dak Prescott played, outstanding.
Prescott had an excellent game. Made
he did.
Key plays when they needed
him. And Zeke. And listen, Zeke had over 100 yards. I think 132, 37 yards rushing.
Like that, yeah.
And let's see, Amari Cooper, he had, 100 and some yards receiving. Dak had great game. That turnover he had was not an interception, Ken.
No,
it was not. That should have been pass interference.
It was, and they missed that call. Tim, what about you, Reed receiver? You got banged up. You lost one guy, and then you got
Hearns. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was a terrible injury. But then you got the other receiver banged up.
Beasley. Yeah, he'll be all right.
His ankle's been bothering him, and he got it sort of aggravated again. So we'll see whether they get them pumped up and healthy for the game.
I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't matter if it's the Philadelphia Eagles, who I can't stand, or whether it's Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm not a big Steelers. I know Addison's a big Steelers fan, but Ken, anytime you see an athlete get hurt like it, Ken, I don't think he'll ever play football again.
And you could see the concern on both teams.
Yes.
Both teams, as they just, in fact, once they showed the replay one time, they said we will not show it again.
That's how bad it was. That was right there with Joe Theismann.
Yeah.
Remember his injury, Lawrence Taylor? That's how bad that is. Ken, I saw his leg. It was actually sticking through out of the sock.
Well, I remember when it happened to Theismann, Lawrence Taylor, who made the tackle. He jumped up
immediately.
And immediately started waving to the sidelines for him.
Yeah, and I saw. Ken, did you see his foot? He was laying on his body. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So my heart goes out to Alan Hearns and Ken, and but Dallas will be okay because he really, if you think about it, he really wasn't that factor of on the football team. Now as a leadership, I'm sure he was.
Yeah, it makes him a little thinner. But
yes,
he was.
But as far as wide receivers, they're going to be fine. Yeah.
But Beasley needs to stay healthy because he's key.
He's the key. He's the tight end.
In fact, he impressed me so much, Tim. He's playing out there on a bum ankle, and he still gets open. He still finds a way to get open. He's amazing.
A good ball player.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's a good football player, no doubt about that. Dallas defeated the Seattle Seahawks 24-22, Ken. Great football game for the Cowboys. It was a home game, too, so big win for Dak Prescott, and it was his first win as a Dallas Cowboy in the playoffs. And let's see, they will play the L.A. Rams.
And the Rams had 2 weeks to heal up. I guess Gurley probably got healed up and ready to go, and they'll be ready to go out there with their high-flying offense, and we'll see if they can still light up the scoreboard against that Dallas defense. It won't be as easy.
Their offense don't match up to Dallas. Dallas defense matches up really good with their offense. I'll put it to you that way. Or you can go the vice versa. Their offense don't match well with their defense. Here's what I think. Jared Goff likes to get the ball out of his hand. McVay, who likes, 1, 2, 3, boom, get rid of the football. Well, Dallas is going to pressure. I think this is what I look at. They're going to pressure the wide receivers. So, therefore, Goff is going to have to go to a 5-step drop instead of a 3-step drop, maybe to a 7-step drop. And you know what that means? That means that defensive line is going to get even more pressure on Goff. And I think they're going to force turnovers, and I think they're going to get sacks. And I really believe that Dallas, I'm thinking Dallas, they got them giving 7 points. I take in, I think Dallas is going to win this game in ease. I do. I don't think they'll have a problem beating L.A.
But we'll see. L.A. didn't, let's say the last.
It's a revenge game for the Cowboys.
The last, 4 or 5 games of the season, the Rams didn't look as impressive they did earlier in the season. Let's put it that way.
When Cooper Kupp, is that who it was, Ken? The wide receiver that went out for the season?
Yeah.
They haven't been the same.
So, but they've got some
Their
playmakers.
defense is not that good.
They got some playmakers.
I think Dallas will put 27. I'm thinking 27-17. 27-17 Dallas.
I think the Rams will put more than 17
You think so?
Yeah.
27-17.
But we'll
Cowboys.
see. I think I agree with it be a competitive game. It's not going to be a blowout game at all by anybody. And Tim, talking about what happened over the weekend with the first round, Dallas was the only home team that won. All the other teams that were playing at
road
home
teams won.
Got beat. The road teams won every game except the Dallas game.
I tell you, San Diego went to Baltimore and beat Baltimore. I picked that one. I picked San Diego.
That ball game wasn't close. I mean, the score looked fairly close, but they was ahead 27-3 at one time.
San Diego's for real. I'm going to tell you that right now.
San Diego controlled that game completely.
Colts. I picked the Colts to beat the Texans. And Texas is a good football team, but they just don't have – Deshaun did not look good at all. He looked –
No, he didn't. He looked comfortable at all. And Indiana controlled that game.
They did.
But the game that was back and forth and it was decided on the missed field goal is Philly and Chicago Bears. And I hate it for the Bears. They got themselves in position to win the game, and then they couldn't get the field goal. But
the field goal was actually blocked.
Yeah, and it was
deflected.
And just tough luck. I mean, it hit the post, then dropped down and hit the crossbar. And if it hit a little bit different, maybe it would have fell over the crossbar, but not to be. It fell on the other side of the crossbar.
If the guy hadn't got a couple fingers on it, Ken, I would really believe that would have been a good field goal. And he made it before he called a timeout.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, and so, me and you was talking about, was that me and you were talking about the timeout and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I don't see that ever happening, Ken. How can you change that rule?
Well, you can't really change it unless you put something in specifically that says you can't call timeout on the field goal with only five seconds left on the clock. I mean, that's the only way I can see. I don't know.
That's going to be an interesting topic
to do something like that, but I don't know whether they'll change it. But there should be a lot of interesting topics on something. I tell you what, I still don't think referees do a great job, Tim.
We'll talk about that catch we was talking about.
Besides that catch, in a lot of the games I watched last Saturday and Sunday, I just saw a lot of calls as questionable or missed calls. Like you mentioned, you're exactly right. On that interception to get Dak Prescott, it was clearly interference.
Yeah. Let me run something by you.
Clearly interference.
And our listeners, I want y'all to think about this. Okay, you got 20-year-old up to maybe 28, 29-year-olds in their prime playing football, 4.5 speed, running up and down the field. I mean,
I know what you got to say.
And then you got a 60. Listen, I'm 50. I'll be 50 years old at the end of this month, Ken. And at times I feel like I'm in my prime, which I'm not. I'm not Terry Reinhardt. Reinhardt, I guarantee you he's in his prime. He's what?
Well,
Reinhardt's what, 65, 66, 67, something like that?
He's in his prime in his own mind. Let's put it that way.
So anyway, in your prime, run up down the field, and you got a 60-year-old, referee on the field, Ken. How in the world can he keep up? Ken, why don't they get maybe a 35-year-old, I don't understand this, Ken.
I agree with you.
I mean, the
game is so much faster now.
You're wearing glasses. Are you not? You got glasses on. Yeah. I got glasses on. Can you take your glasses? Listen, how many referees you see with glasses on? I'm sure they might have had laser eye surgery or something like that. But think about it. I mean, like old John Boy and Billy Marvin was, y'all think about it.
Well, now I agree with you, Tim. I mean, the game is officiated by human beings, but why not have the fastest referees out there to keep up with these guys? To get in best position.
College basketball and professional basketball, there's some older guys, but you don't see you see younger guys too.
Because you got to keep up with those guys in both of those. I mean, in basketball, pro basketball, college basketball, and in football. These guys, there's so much speed there all over the field. You always had speed in the skill guys. You got speed everywhere now.
The defensive tackle, he's running running backs down. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. I think they ought to go younger.
How many people, Ken, how many people you think have said something to Roger Goodell about that? Hey, have you ever looked at your referees and see how they are? I mean, Ken, you think about it. You're, 69 years old?
Yeah, next month I'll be 70.
You'll be 70 next month, okay, and I'll be 50. Can't you imagine me and you on the field calling a game out there, running up there? Can't they have to carry you and me off the field? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. If they did, I'd say just take me over to cheerleaders. Just drop me off over there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. You know?
Oh man, you're right, Tim.
Something's got to change there.
They do, but I don't see it. I mean, how many young guys you see coming in?
You know what?
there?
I'm waiting one of them big old defense that run over one of them referees.
And wipe them out.
I mean, just wipe them out.
Put them in the hospital or something. You know?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Oh man. Well, let's talk. We're talking referees. Let's talk about a play that happened in the Eagles-Bears game. Then we'll get back to the matchups again this weekend. And make some predictions on the NFC second round. Tim, we found out there's more confusion about what a catch is. In the Eagles and Bears game, a long pass to Bears, Anthony Miller was called incomplete on the field. When they ran the replay, it looked like the guy took 2 or 3 steps before the ball was ripped out. Well, it was challenged by the Bears. And the challenge came back, and this is what's strange. The official said, the call on the field stands. And then he says, and the call was initially ruled incomplete. He said, the ball was called. He took 2 or 3 steps, and then it was fumbled. But because there wasn't a clear recovery of the fumble, and the reason nobody recovered it was because the referee jumped in and immediately said it was incomplete.
Right, I mean, yeah,
and nobody went after the receiver. Didn't go get the ball. The defender go get the ball. So he said, because it wasn't a clear recovery, we're going to make it be incomplete. So that's why it still stands.
His reflex, I mean, he just reflex real slow. I mean, he just called it before anything happened.
And the official knew what he was talking about according to the rule book, because I went back and I reviewed the rule book, and that's exactly what it says. It says if the ball is not a clear recovery on a challenge pass that way, or it's fumbled out of bounds, the pass is ruled incomplete even though they know they caught it. What kind of logic does that make, Tim?
So
see what I think should have happened.
It should have been dead ball.
Should be dead ball
right there
at that spot where the guy last had possession. Absolutely. That's the way it is when you have a runner that does that.
Right.
And if you catch the ball and make a valid catch, you're then a runner.
He said it was a valid catch.
Are you then?
But it wasn't no recovery.
But then you're a runner.
So how can you? Yeah,
that's crazy. The rule is written differently on a review of a pass completion than it is anywhere else in the football field.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy.
That's because the referees are too old, Ken.
Well, the rule's written bad. I mean, the rule should not have said it's an incomplete pass once you said he called it.
But the referees made a bad call because he wasn't in position to make that call.
Yeah.
So, and what I mean is, but position-wise, he didn't see him take 1, 2, or 3 steps. He was behind him or he was away from him. Somehow or another, he wasn't in position. In baseball, to make a good call, you have – the number one thing as a umpire, and I know this because I ump baseball games, they tell us, make sure you're in position to make that call. That guy was not in position to make that call. I'm telling you.
And it makes the officials really look bad.
They're too old. They're too old. As simple as that. Listen, if you want to have think about this, Ken, have all the young ones around you and let your older official, you could be 65 years old, let him make the calls. Let the younger guys, let him be the head of the official, you know what I'm saying? Like in baseball, behind the plate, the umpire, the home plate, he's the head of the umpires, you know what I'm saying? Let him be that. Don't put him behind the offense, but don't put him in behind the defense where the offense is playing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. Somebody's going to lose a big game like that, and I'm sure they've already.
How confusing was it while they was reviewing it, and they was showing it and said, "Oh yeah, it looks like a catch." Both teams went down to the end of the field where the play ended, thinking there was going to be marked there.
Hey, I agree with you.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, folks, we're going to be back right here on WCSL 1590 and 92.3, and we're going to make our football picks for this weekend. So I got Addison's picks, Ken. They're all wrong. I'm going to let you know that.
All right.
So Ken and I have our picks after these fine commercials right here on KTC Broadcast and WCSL at the Classic 4 Studios. Tim Johnson, Kenny Link.
Live and uniquely local.
It's a community station.
Carolina Country, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, WCSL Cherryville.
Here's what's up in Cleveland, Gaston, and Lincoln counties. Brought to you by the What's Up Shopper, Carolina Country, WCSL, and The Boss, WOHS and WLON. The Cleveland County Arts Council presents jewelry making at the Cleveland County Arts Council January 26th. The Gaston County Cooperative Extension Office in Gastonia presents Living Healthy with Diabetes January 22nd through February 26th at the Dallas Library on South Holland Street in Dallas, North Carolina. And that's What's Up, brought to you by the What's Up Shopper, Carolina Country, WCSL, 1590 AM and 92.3 FM. The Boss, WOHS, 1390 AM and 101.5 FM, and WLON, 1050 AM and 107.5 FM. For more information, go to whatsupshopper.com.
Cleveland County's premier Buick GMC dealer is Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Come in now and take a test drive in your new Buick or GMC. Right now, drive away in a new 2019 Buick Encore at 20% off MSRP. You save over $5,300. And it's Denali season. Get up to over $12,000 in savings on the 2018 GMC Sierra 1500 four-wheel drive crew cab with the Denali Ultimate Package. Come in for all the details at Renato Buick GMC, located at Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby. For over 30 years, Stagecoach Hardware in Lawndale has been serving the folks of Upper Cleveland County. Warren Beam invites you in for all of your hardware needs. If it's broke, chances are Stagecoach Hardware in Lawndale has what you need to fix it. From plumbing to hardware to specialty nuts and bolts to kerosene heaters. If they don't have it, you probably don't need it. That's Stagecoach Hardware, 356 East Main Street, Highway 182 in Lawndale. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 till 3. Free classifieds at every edition of the What's Up Shopper, covering Cleveland, Lincoln, and Gaston counties. Place your free classified ad today in this week's What's Up Shopper.
You know, Ken, we were talking about, officials and stuff like that, before we went to a commercial break about we feel like that some of them need to be maybe younger. I agree with you. They need to take some kind of skills test and stuff like that. No doubt about that.
I agree, and we'll see whether that becomes a big topic or not. I'm like you. If I was the owner, I believe I'd be pushing for that. But,
well, even the NFL Association, you got your Players Association is what I'm talking about.
Think, yeah.
Yeah, they would step in and say something. But, prime examples, Dallas and Green Bay back a few years ago when Romo, he threw a touchdown pass to Des Bryant, and they said, no, he didn't catch football. Yeah. Well, I hate it for him. That was a catch.
Yeah, common sense says it's a catch. And they've tried to change the rules to common sense. But we found a situation in this Eagles-Bears game where the rule as they wrote it don't make a lot of common sense.
That could have been a difference in that game, Ken.
Well,
either way, it could have been a difference.
Because of the way it was called, they ended up having to kick a field goal where they'd have been in great position to score a touchdown if it would have been spotted there. So there you go.
Kenny, let's go. I'm going to go with Addison's picks. This week in the NFC, Dallas is at LA Rams. Start time, I think, Ken, 8:15. Is that right? 8:15?
8:15 on a Saturday night.
And you got Philly, New Orleans. Start time, it'll be Sunday at 4:40. That's the Sunday game. You got a Saturday game for NFC and Sunday game. In the AFC, Kenny, the Saturday game is Indy versus Kansas City, 4:35 at Kansas City. And let's see, you got LA Chargers at New England, Ken. That's Sunday, 1:05. Now, here's what Addison said. Addison's picking the Rams to beat Dallas. He's picking New Orleans to win on Sunday. So he's got Rams in New Orleans.
Okay.
All right. He said in the AFC he's picking New England, and he's picking Kansas. No, he's picking Indy, Indy and New England. So he's picking. So that's his 4 picks. All right, Kenny, hit us with your picks.
In NFC, I'm going with the Rams and New Orleans. In the AFC, I'm going with the Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay, you're going with Kansas City over Indy. You're going with Chargers over New England. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you're going with New Orleans to beat Philadelphia. Is that right?
That's right.
And you're going with the Rams to beat Dallas. Is that right?
I'm going with all the home teams except the L.A. New England game.
I got you. Okay. My picks, folks, put your money on it. Cowboys going to beat the Rams, Ken. You hear me? They're going to beat the Rams. Book it. Write it down. Philadelphia is going to beat New Orleans. And the NFC Championship game will be in Dallas. And I'm going to tell you right now, Philadelphia scares me. They scare me. Okay? So, Dallas, Philadelphia, NFC Championship game, and that will be the late game, of course, because that would be the primetime game. And Jerry will probably – I guarantee he'll be wearing that blue Dallas Cowboys suit, and he'll be strutting his stuff. So, anyway, Chargers. I'm picking the Chargers to beat New England. And I'm picking Kansas City to beat – and I'm going to tell you why I'm picking Kansas City to beat Indianapolis. I don't think Indy's going to score enough points to beat Kansas City. Now, would it surprise me if Indy beats Kansas? No, it won't. But I'm picking Kansas City to beat Indy, and it's going to be a Chargers and Kansas City. In Kansas City, Ken, Chargers Super Bowl. I'm picking the Chargers to beat Kansas City out of the AFC. Now, would it surprise me if New England beats Chargers? No. But I think Phillip Rivers is playing really good football, and I think the Chargers' defense is going to put some pressure on New England, and I think they're going to cause Tom Brady's age to show. I think he's going to show his age. I really do. And I think the Chargers are going to beat New England. So I think Chargers are going to come out of the AFC and go to Super Bowl. In Dallas, Philadelphia, I'm going to pick my Cowboys to go to Super Bowl. I'm going to pick him. Wow. But if Philadelphia gets beat by New Orleans, I'm gonna have to think on that, Ken. But I'm telling you, Philadelphia is going to beat New Orleans.
You telling me you might change your mind that they're going to the Super Bowl? That ain't happening, Tim. You and I both know that.
What are you trying to say, Ken?
You got to pick the Cowboys no matter who they play at.
Well, tell me your reason why you won't pick the Cowboys against the Rams. Give me a good reason why.
I don't think the Cowboys' offense plays very well on the road. And I think they won't be able to have enough offense. Although they'll slow down the Rams' offense, they won't have enough offense to outscore them. That's the way I look at it. But me and you did pick the same teams, Tim, in the AFC to advance. But we're completely different in the NFC. So we'll see what happens next week. And see, maybe Addison picks will be correct, even though Tim's already said they're all wrong. So I don't know. We'll see.
Him and Kevin's been hanging out together too much.
Tim, I heard coming in that in Panther news, Carolina Panthers, Ron Rivera has said he will be the defensive coordinator as well as the head coach next year. That's what he has come out.
So I guess I tell you what's going to happen. They're going to let North Turner
going to do the offense.
He's going to do the offense.
And when he took over, with about 4 games left, defense played a lot better. Rivera knows what he's doing on defense.
He's not going to have anybody to help him. Well, so he's going to be the defensive coordinator / head coach.
Head coach, he is. I mean, he may bring some other folks in. I don't think he's going to bring Wilts in. I think he's going to do it himself. Tim, I think he's sitting here saying, look, I got to do good next year, and new owners looking at me. I want to make sure I got the best person there for defense coordinator, and I got confidence in myself.
Well, I like Ron Rivera. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a great defense coordinator. So good luck to Ron Rivera and the Carolina Panthers next year. And Ken, we'll be covering them. We'll be there. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in here today. WCSL 1590 and 92.3 on the FM station. Tim Johnson, Kenny Link. And you guys have a great weekend. Go Cowboys. Kenny, tell them goodbye.
Well, we'll see you next week, and we'll discuss all these picks. Goodbye.
NCN News, I'm Nathan Bernstein. There's now more allegations of improper absentee ballots, this time impacting a state house race in the same area where there are charges related to the U.S. congressional race. Tammy Fitzgerald with the North Carolina Values Coalition says her group is asking the Speaker of the House in Raleigh to not seat Democrat Representative Rachel Hunt.
The State Board of Elections has committed malfeasance when it instructed county boards of elections to ignore the law, which clearly requires that absentee ballots be marked and witnessed in front of 2 witnesses or a notary.
Wake up, baby. Come here. Let me bend your ear. Tell you of this love of mine. The way she soothes me, the way she grooves me. She's the only one that ever moves